Turning now to the independence of the country's highest court, Chief Justice John Roberts vowing to keep the Supreme Court above politics following the divisive fight over the court's newest member, Justice Brett Kavanaugh. Watch.
I will not criticize the political branches. We do that often enough in our opinions, but we speak for the Constitution. Our role is very clear. We are to interpret the Constitution and laws of the United States and ensure that the political branches act within them. That job obviously requires independence from the political branches.
Joining us right now is Fox News senior judicial analyst Judge Andrew Napolitano. Judge, good to see you.
Good morning.
Nice to hear him talk like that.
Boy, I couldn't agree more. I mean,
Exactly.
that is a brilliant, succinct, and courageous explanation of the role of the federal courts in our society. Think about it. The whole purpose of an independent judiciary is to be anti-democratic, to preserve and protect the rights of the minority, even a minority of one, from the tyranny of the majority. The tyranny of the majority can come about when Congress enacts an unjust law or when the president, and I don't mean Donald Trump, but any president, unjustly enforces a just law. Then it's the job of the Supreme Court to say, stop.
Yeah.
It is not the job of the Supreme Court to do the will of the public. It is not the job of the Supreme Court to serve the voters, but to serve the Constitution. Now, having said that, I mean, they read election returns and watch the same cable channels and read the same newspapers as the rest of us.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to hear him say that. We all want that, the Supreme Court to be above politics, right?
Then why does it judge that you do have conservative and liberals? I mean, you can pretty much determine. Every once in a while you have a John Roberts who goes against what was consensus of thought when he votes for a health care bill. But for the most part, you can tell where judges are going to vote. Isn't it just about interpreting the law? Well, how does personal bias affect the judge?
Okay, so there's two ways to interpret, basically two. There's about half a dozen different ways, but basically two schools of thought when you're interpreting a word in the or a phrase in the Constitution. Should you interpret it in accordance with its meaning at the time it was enacted, 230 years ago, or should you interpret it in accordance with what the words mean today? The former, the 230 years ago, was called originalism, a theory championed by Justice Scalia. The latter, what it means today, is called the living Constitution, a theory championed by Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Okay.
Very good friends, opposite ends of the spectrum, two different ways to look at this. But you are not to interpret that Constitution in a way that you think will please the most people. That is not your job. If you want a job like that, go run for the Senate or the House of Representatives.
Great analysis, Judge.